Hey everyone, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you don't know who I am, my name is Ashley. I'm a professional cosplay photographer, Twitch affiliate, and TikToker. Today I'm here with the lovely Drew of Dead Broke Cosplay and the Quilted Cat. She is here she comes in her cuteness. Today she is cosplaying from Fruit Basket. I'm going to give her a couple seconds just to introduce herself and what she actually does with her cosplay.
Hey, so I'm Drew, and my handle and everything is Dead Broke Cosplay. I haven't been able to cosplay as much recently, so it was nice getting to put this back on. So I've always put a focus on my cosplays being for people on a budget, and I've just really enjoyed learning how to make my own clothes through this process. And I think that's it.
So like with our last few videos, we have some questions from across our social media platforms that we're going to answer. Then I'm going to take a couple photos for her and her cosplay, and then you'll be able to see these photos as soon as the video uploads. The other two videos, you haven't been able to see them because they're for our 31 days of Halloween. So you'll have to go follow the pages and wait for 31 days of Halloween. Okay, so the very first question that we were asked on Instagram was, how do you keep your wigs on?
Okay, so there's a couple different ways. Typically my wigs they pretty much stay in place, but like right now I have bobby pins in helping it kind of stay in place. But the biggest tip to keep your wig on is there's these great things. I don't have one on today, but they are called wig grips. So you'll put your wig cap on, and then it's like a headband, and you put that around it, and it keeps your wig perfectly in place all day.
Okay, the next question that we had was, what is the best fan reaction you've ever had to one of your cosplays?
Oh, okay. So my favorite interaction ever was from whenever I first started cosplaying. It was so sweet. So it was the first time I cosplayed like full out at a convention, and I was Raven. And this little girl, she was so cute. She wanted my picture, but she was too shy to ask me. So her dad had to ask me, and she was like maybe 4.
Oh, that's cute. I forgot also, if you haven't noticed, we are on a highway road. We stopped because the background was so beautiful. You guys are going to see a shit ton of cars drive by. Okay, so a lot of you know about my modeling group at this point. She is also one of the founding members that we mentioned in the other 2 videos. She's the one I actually mentioned and didn't forget about, like Brandy. So, sorry, Brandy. But yeah, she's one of the founding members. And the funny thing about this is we met through a charity show called the Vagina Monologues years ago. And when I first met her, I was like, I really want to do photography. She was the first person to support it. She was the first person to jump on board for my modeling group. And any idea I've ever given this person, she has literally like closet cosplayed it and knocked it out of the park. Or she has literally like budgeted until she found it at Goodwill. Like and it's always been amazing. And I think it's really funny. I just want to tell this story. So one time we were doing this fairy shoot, and we're going to get to the question, I promise. But we were doing this fairy shoot, and she was like covered in moss, and we had done a part 1 to it. And I just wasn't a fan of the part 1. I wasn't happy with my work. I was happy with the model's work. I just wasn't happy with mine. So we go to this really old house, and it's haunted, by the way. And I have a haunted story about that too. And it involves her. And I'll get to that too. We're going to tell that story too on here today. But, so we get there and there's this looking pool, and I'm like, oh, it's just a looking pool, Drew. Get in it. She does. Falls in.
Yeah, we thought it was all grown over and there wasn't any water in it because it was just that covered in moss. And so she was like, yeah, Drew, step down there. So you know what I did? And there's a lovely picture of me holding onto this tree as I fall into it. Luckily I didn't get very wet, and it was just like 2 feet deep. But still, yeah,
it like came up her calf, and I was like, oh shit, that was not a looking pool. Now to my question. So in the shoot, and I will link the shoot in the comments to this video when it goes live, so you'll see it in the comments now. But so she put all this stuff on her face. What is the best way to apply prosthetics to your face?
Okay, so what I was doing was moss, and it was all fairly lightweight eyelash glue. For false eyelashes, specifically the original duo. That is how I got all that moss to stay on all day. It's how I always stick things to my face whenever I'm Raven. It's how I stick my jewel on. That stuff lasts all day, and I have to like peel it off later.
Okay, and our last question for Drew is, what is your best advice on building a budget-friendly cosplay?
Okay, so the first thing I always do is I list out everything I'm gonna need. And then I look at that list and I see, what do I have that's already going to work for that? Like if I can just alter something I already own, if I have a wig that I could just restyle, always start there. And then after that, coupons and thrift shopping. I go to Goodwill, find pieces that I can either alter or like will already work, or at least give the idea, especially for closet cosplay. And then coupons. Joann's always has coupons. So a lot of my fabric that I buy for both my shop and for my cosplays now are especially printed fabric from Spoonflower. You just have to wait for that stuff to go on sale.
And the Spoonflower, I'll drop a link to them too, since they're more of a, aren't they like a...
They're a small business.
They're a small business, yeah. So we'll link them down below too if you're interested.
And they have, there's so many great artists on there who have made different fabrics for cosplays, and the money will go and support them. But they often have sales, typically quarterly they have sales. So really, I shop the sales and don't try to rush it. Take your time, find the pieces as you can. There's no race for cosplay.
Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we are going to do some filming of her as I shoot just a few shots of this cosplay, because we're moving on to something a little more risque out here in the country. So if you're interested in boudoir and you would like to see some boudoir modeling content, comment below. But yeah, so we're now going to film a few things, and then I'm going to come back to end this video with a ghost story. Okay, so what I want you to do, I want you to get in like the basic school anime schoolgirl, like, yeah. I'm gonna come on this side. Oh, you're so dark. Hold on. Much better, but I want the sunlight on it. Oh, let's go. Okay. I love the horses are walking in the background. Okay, look at me. Oh, that's so pretty. He's looking at us. So pretty. I'm gonna die. It's so pretty. Don't move. Don't move. That's a cute pose. These are gonna be so good. Okay, that looks really good. That's cute. No! This is so pretty. Okay, so now you saw us shoot it. Go to my Instagram, Moments Entwined, or Moments Entwined Cosplay, to see the finished results, and go to Dead Broke Cosplay to see some more of the work, because I'm going to post a few and she's going to post a few different ones, so you can see them both. Now to end this video, I'm going to tell you about the ghost story. So when I did this series a long time ago called This Dress Does Not Define Me, and she wore this really beautiful Cinderella gown in a red leather jacket. If you've ever seen the show Once Upon a Time, it gave off very Emma Swan vibes. But while I waited on her, there's this old mansion in the town that we're from, and I get there early. And if you know anything about Miss Drew, she's always fashionably late. And it's a quality of hers, because usually when she's fashionably late, I've lost track of time. So it was all fine. But for whatever reason, I was early this day. It was cold. It was like November, I think it was in November. And I get there and I start walking around the property. I go to the window and I climb in this chair and I'm like, oh, this is so pretty. Like, I'm looking in this house, and I start cleaning the window and I hear a woman go, ah, and I turn around and I'm like, so I look, nobody's there. So I go to the other window, start doing the same thing, look in, and it coughs again. It starts raining and I'm like, okay, it's a ghost. So I'm like, do you want me to leave? They were like, the storm stopped. It instantly got a little warmer, and she walks up. And I was like, let me tell you what just happened. I met a ghost, but I didn't see him, but I met a ghost. Again, thank you all so much for coming to this YouTube channel and supporting our work. This is Drew from Dead Broke Cosplay. I am Ashley. My online persona is ashleybrookestar.tv. Thank you so much. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like this video, give it a thumbs down, because it still helps me in the algorithm. And I really appreciate it. Hit that bell notification, hit like, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye.